Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we get ready to cap off All-Star Race Weekend from the Charlotte Motor Speedway here in Season 2 of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. This afternoon, you guys saw the All-Star Open. 3 drivers transferred in. They were the Open winner Carter Friesen, as well as Benny Watson and Chris Dollerton. They will make up 22nd, 23rd, and 24th in our 24-car field here this evening. Tonight's All-Star Race field comprised of drivers that are either the previous All-Star Race winner, had wins after the All-Star Race break last season, and wins this season during the first half of the Season 2 regular season. So 24 drivers in total, sure to be a wild one. 51 laps of racing here this evening, and we saw earlier today that the fuel window for these drivers in green flag pit stops is anywhere from 25 to 27 laps. So anywhere from around, if we go green all the way, anywhere from around 51 to 53 is about as far as they can go on 2 tanks of fuel, which means we could see some drivers running out of fuel in the closing stages of this race. One thing we have not seen yet today is a caution flag, so with a much bigger field here, we could potentially see our first wreck of the day as well. On the front row, it's all Chevrolet Camaros. Kyle Matthews lines up on point. Kyle Matthews, a winner this season at Phoenix, and alongside of him is going to be Austin LaPlante. He gets in due to a win he had last year at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Let's go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
As the command is given, you can check over on the right side of your screen. We've got a special all-star race grid for you guys to be able to see here. It not only gives you who's starting where and what row, but also gives you the qualifications that these drivers had of getting into tonight's all-star race event. So 51 laps of racing, and I don't know. I kind of think this is going to be kind of like a shortened Coke 600 that we'll be watching here this evening. The Coke 600 is, I believe, 84 laps. So we're running more than half the distance of the Coke 600. It's a smaller field, though. There'll be 40 cars to take the green in the 600. Only 24 cars here in this one. And anything that we saw from the All-Star Open that we can take away and apply into this one. Number one, starting on the inside line early on is very, very important. Saw a number of drivers on the inside line of their respective rows move up to the front very early. And another thing, too, is if we do manage to go green, coming to pit road as early as possible really works out. The fresher tires definitely help to gain you track position, as Kyle Matthews will lead them down, and green flags in the air. Let's go All-Star Racing! Should point out that 3 drivers are in the field here this evening that have taken a checkered flag at Charlotte in their career. William Brock in the 88, the defending winner of the All-Star race. Dylan Young in the 2, won the All-Star Open last season. And of course, Carter Friesen, just a few hours ago, took the checkered flag in this season's All-Star Open. Issues early on for the rookie Alexander Rowe. Saw him fade all the way to the rear of the field. He's still with the pack, though, so looks like he still might be able to stay in it. New look for the 39 of Keith Batson, the United States Navy Ford Mustang out of KEB Racing Enterprises. Keith Batson, a Richmond winner last season. And he takes second for Michael Norman. Now he's hunting Kyle Matthews down for the race lead. Our All-Star Open was very democratic. 3 different manufacturers transferring into the All-Star race. A Chevrolet in Carter Friesen, a Toyota in Benny Watson, and a Ford in Chris Dollerton. As I look back there, looks like the highest running of those right now is Chris Dollerton in the 43. Lead change. Keith Batson to the point. Austin LaPlante offering the drafting help. Michael Norman right there, Ryan Brommer, and Ryan Butcher. So right now we've got 2 Toyotas, 2 Chevrolets, 1 Dodge, and 1 Ford up inside of the top 6. Bit of a gap before you get back to Trey Wright, our winner from Manassas this season. His win at the dirt track of Lakewood also got him into this all-star race. And there's our Martinsville winner, James Qualls, on that inside line. Dylan Young there in the 2. Dylan Young last season was in the all-star race. Ooh, Cole Baker, a Daytona 500 winner, up in the wall. But Dylan Young, this is the second all-star race he's participated in. Had to use winning the Open last season to get in. And wow, did you see that right there? Chris Dollerton forcing Wyatt Quayle out of the way. That put William Brock up the racetrack, and I think he may have brushed the wall off turn 4 as a result. Chris Dollerton not messing around. Now here's Jesse Turner. He's got a win here at Charlotte, just not at the 1.5-mile track. He's got a win last season at the Charlotte Roval that got him into this all-star race. And there is the defending winner of the all-star race, William Brock, right now scored in the 13th position. Talking about former winners here at Charlotte, you've also got Jordan Lopez. He's the defending Coca-Cola 600 winner. Back up towards the front. Lead change, Michael Norman to the top position. Michael Norman already has a win in a big non-points event. He won the Clash at Daytona earlier on this year, so how cool would it be for him to have won the Clash and the All-Star race in the same season? But now Keith Batson back to the bottom to take that position away. James Qualls has fought his way now up into the top 5. He's in that 5th position. Pretty good run for the Camrys right now as they're sitting in 3rd, 4th, and 5th going into turn 3. Both the Dodges made it into this all-star race field as well. Ryan Brommer with winning this season at Sonoma. His win last season as well at Chicago, I believe it was, got him into, no, it wasn't Chicago, where was it? Hillside, I think. Yep, at Hillside. His win at Hillside also got him into the All-Star race, and his teammate, Zach Rogers, who won last season at Texas, when Texas was in the second half of the regular season, as opposed to this season when it was in the first half. There he is. And there is Benny Watson, runner-up in the Open, making a move. The winner of the Open is up there, Carter Friesen. Matter of fact, our last 2 Open winners are right now nose to tail. Dylan Young, who won the Open back in Season 1. Carter Friesen, who won the Open here in Season 2. They are in 15th and 16th, respectively. There is Carson Gum there in the 3 car. Carson Gum winning earlier on this year at Atlanta, another D-shaped 1.5-mile racetrack. As a matter of fact, if we look and see this season, the 2 drivers that have won at the D-shaped 1.5 miles, it's Carson Gum, who won at Atlanta, and right there, Matt McIntyre, who won at Texas. Field is starting to spread apart, but there's still great battling all the way through this field as James Qualls has now gone to the point. Kyle Matthews into 2nd, Dollerton into 3rd, Ryan Butcher right now in 4th, and Kyle Matthews, the pole sitter, wants the race lead back. Wyatt Quayle starting to enter into this mix. He's now behind Austin LaPlante in the 8th position, Matt McIntyre in 9th, William Brock right there in 10th, so some new players starting to make their way towards the front. Kyle Matthews, the only S3 Motorsports car in this all-star race. His teammates Jessica Shelton and Charles Sanford failed to make it in via the Open. So Kyle Matthews, right now, lonely man on an island trying to hold on here. The only hope for S3 Motorsports to get an all-star race win here in Season 2. And how about Chris Dollerton? Started this race from the 24th position, dead last. And within 13 laps, he has worked his way up into the 2nd spot. seeing a little bit of what we saw in the All-Star Open, where the field breaks up into two groups. You drop back here to 10th place William Brock, and then there's a gap back to 11th, which right now that pack's being led by Dylan Young. There's more cars in this pack, I do believe, but I don't know if they're going to be able to catch up or not. Jose Mills, Matthew Rodriguez, Ryan Brommer, Jesse Turner, Carson Gum, as well as Carter Friesen, Trey Wright, and Jordan Lopez are in this second pack, and just straggling behind are Zach Rogers and Alexander Rowe. I think someone might have gotten in the wall off of 4, Mitchell Collins in the 22. Yeah, he's got some right side damage. We saw Cole Baker in the wall earlier. He's got right side damage as well on his Arizona Ice-T Chevrolet. And I think Benny Watson may have gotten held up behind the 22, which is why he lost so much ground. Right now, all 24 cars are still running the lead lap. The thing that's really going to hurt Mitchell Collins and Cole Baker, though, with having that damage, I don't think it's going to affect them speed-wise, but it's going to affect them as much time as they're going to spend on pit road having to repair that, because we're going to probably, at least right now, be looking towards green flag pit stops. Now, the fuel window, as I said, based off of what we saw in the Open, is about 25 to 27 laps. So somewhere within the next 9 laps, we're going to see some drivers duck into pit road. I think these drivers want to at least make it to lap 26 or 27. I don't think they want to pit as early as lap 25. It worked out for Carter Friesen in the Open race, but that's because we had 34 laps of racing, not 51. Oh, Michael Norman you see up there into the wall. That's going to lose him a lot of momentum as he drifts back into the 10th position. And Kyle Matthews, man, he'll lose the lead and then he fights right back to the top position. Matt McIntyre now moving into second. Wyatt Quayle moving into third. Both those drivers have won at mile and a half this season. McIntyre at Texas and Quayle at Las Vegas. Got down on that paint line though and almost shot up the racetrack. You lose grip. The car doesn't want to turn when you hit that paint line because the left front wheel just starts sliding. There's no grip on that paint line. You really want to avoid it at all costs. And ooh, car in the wall. That's Austin LaPlante. He hit it twice. He hit it once by himself, and then he bounced off Ryan Butcher and bounced into it again. Ryan Butcher, a former teammate of Austin LaPlante from last season. And Matt McIntyre got a nice run there through 1 and 2. Ran about a half groove lower than the 09 and closed right up to his back bumper. Keith Batson right there as well. Keith Batson has kept his car up inside of the top 7 pretty much all day long. And here we go, battle for the lead. Oh, Matt McIntyre might have gotten a little bit of that paint line, and that killed his momentum there through 1 and 2. James Qualls in the wall off of turn 2. And I'll tell you who this is bringing into the picture, and that's that orange and white car of Dylan Young. He's now worked his way up to the 11th position, and he, along with Jesse Turner, Jose Mills, and Zach Rogers, they're now closing up here with chances of getting into the top 10. I think with LaPlante getting the wall and Qualls getting the wall, it's broken up this lead group and allowed these other drivers to close in. Battle for the lead. Oh, we might go 3 wide here. Is Keith thinking about it? Is he going to do it? Yes, he is. 3 wide for the lead, and ooh, this could get a little dicey coming off turn 4. Kyle Matthews got to keep it off the wall. He brushes it just the least little bit. Keeps it straight though, and we're going to get away with one there. If Kyle Matthews ran just off that cushion, we could have had ourselves a wreck start up at the very front of the field. And speaking of front of the field, that's where Keith Batson is now as he moves to the point. Another car in the wall off turn 2. That's Michael Norman again. Toyota's battle for second. Wyatt Quayle on the bottom. Matt McIntyre up top. William Brock, the defending winner of the All-Star race, up here in the mix again. Trying to go for back-to-back seasons as we're going to be 3 wide going into turn 1 because I think he's alongside the left rear of Wyatt Quayle. Yes, he is. Ooh, that was close. That's what I was worried about. You saw the 88 get the paint line, and he shot up the track and almost went up into Wyatt Quayle and Matt McIntyre, who both just, I think, got a slight piece of the wall off of turn 2. Meanwhile, this all going on behind Keith Batson. This looks like a battle for the lead, but it's actually a battle for second. Keith Batson says, hey, you guys keep battling like that. I'll just enjoy the clean air out in front. About 2 to 3 laps away from those pit stops. Ooh, gracious. Hang on to her, Ryan. Wade Brock's going to get the wall there. Who's going to be the first one to duck for pit lane? They got to make it about 2 more laps, I think, to be able to make it on this pit stop. If they come to pit road within the next lap, I think they're going to be about a lap short in the closing stages of this race, unless they're able to save a little bit. We've got some stragglers at the back that don't look like they're going to be in the hunt for this. Trey Wright's got damage now here. Ryan Brommer back here along with Alexander Rowe. We already know that Mitchell Collins and Cole Baker had hit the wall. Jordan Lopez and Benny Watson are by themselves. They need them to really race it up here if they're going to have a chance of catching back up and be a factor. And Keith Batson pits from the lead. Ooh, I think this might be too early for the 39. We're going to have to wait and see if he can make it. He is a lonely man, too, on pit road. And I wonder if that goes back to him being out in front when he was, using up maybe a little bit more fuel than everybody else. Ooh, contact in the back, and it's going to be a wreck. Caution will wave. Matthew Rodriguez around. Wyatt Quayle hits the inside wall hard. Yellow will wave, I do believe. Caution is out, and Keith Batson's got to get himself off pit road quick. He's not doing it. He's going to get trapped a lap down. What a terrible timing of that for the caution to come out for Keith Batson. And I almost wonder about these drivers here, about them being able to make it back around to pit road. They're going to definitely have their engines shut off and be clutching to get to pit lane. Caution will wave for the first time here today. Keith Batson, the worst timing for a caution to come out for him. I think he will probably have to restart ahead of the leaders on the tail end of the lead lap. Oh, wait a minute. He just went around and got his lap back. So never mind. I guess because he had crossed the line when that caution came out, he was scored on the lead lap. So I think Keith Batson will still be on the tail end of the lead lap. And he actually, depending on what happens here, he could be cycled around as the race leader. So maybe that caution wasn't a bad thing for him. 2 drivers sustained some pretty heavy damage there, though. Matthew Rodriguez being one of them. The other one, obviously, Wyatt Quayle. He almost, I don't know if he did or not, but it looked like he might have just missed, but he almost hit that opening down on the inside of the back straightaway. And if that had happened, he would have probably jutted back out into traffic. Chris Dollerton down and away there in the 43. Let's see if he can beat Kyle Matthews off of pit lane. Matthews came in the race leader. Gotta get going. Oh, he's not going to make it. Dollerton's going to get him. So Chris Dollerton's going to come out in either first or second, depending on what the situation is with Keith Batson. There's Batson. He's catching up to the pace car. And it looks like based off the scoring, Keith Batson is going to be our race leader when we go back green. So that caution actually was a good thing for the 39 car. And I think this caution, too, with this caution coming out, that's going to be a few pace laps that Keith Batson's going to be able to save some fuel. So I think this, with him pitting as early as he did, I think he's going to be able to save enough to make it the rest of the way on fuel. So this caution helped him out in more ways than one. For now, let's go back and see what brought out the caution for the first time here today in the All-Star race. All right, let's start watching this going into turn 1. Watch that 78 of Ryan Butcher up on the top side. I think he ends up brushing the wall, and it stacks everybody up behind him. We'll see where the initial contact is. It might have been between the 78 and the 54. There's Butcher into the wall. You see he overstepped the cushion. The car just went straight. And there you see, James Qualls was in a 3-wide situation, makes contact. That sends him down into Matthew Rodriguez's right rear. And then Matt Rod comes down in front of Wyatt Quayle. Now watch this. Watch the trajectory, the position that the 41 is going. Right there he gets the wall. And then watch this. Oh boy, I can't tell if he got the opening or not. Looks like he might have. Let's rewind back and see. He might have just gotten the very edge of it. Slow it down quite a bit more. Let's see if he gets just on that corner. I don't think he did. I think he was just past it. And then more contact there with Matthew Rodriguez. That would have been an even more violent hit, I think, if he had hit square on into that 45-degree angled wall. You know what? Let's find out where he did hit. Let's take an onboard with the Burger King Toyota. Alright, this will give us an idea of where Wyatt Quayle hit that inside wall, and also will show us that he had absolutely nowhere to go when Matthew Rodriguez came spinning down in front of him. Oh, he did. Oh, he got the corner. He got the corner of it, so he did hit that opening. I thought he might have been just past it, but nope, he did hit it. And you heard he never lifted out of the throttle. He was in the throttle the whole time, hoping he could skate through, but unfortunately that was not the case. And I know this is a non-points event, but this just, I don't know, this just seems to depict Wyatt Quayle's seasons. Season 1, he picked up a win at Dover, but he was outside the top 30 of the point standings for that win to count towards a playoff spot. This season, got an early win at Las Vegas, but he's 38th in the points heading into the second half of the regular season. And here today in the All-Star race, he was up inside the top 10 at the time, and gets caught up in a wreck not of his making, and he is the only DNF at this point, with about, we're going to be about 20 laps to go in a few minutes. Keith Batson is your race leader, so that caution really helped him. Chris Dollerton second, Kyle Matthews third, Matt McIntyre, Jesse Turner your top 5. Then it's Jose Mills, Zach Rogers, Austin LaPlante, Dylan Young, and Carson Gum as we go back green here at Charlotte. And everybody should be good to go on fuel now. So now it's basically, you got what you got, it's time to battle for the win. Wow, look at that! Matthews moves low, Dollerton tries to block, and now they're 3 wide for the lead going into turn 3. Kyle Matthews was the race leader when the caution came out. Ooh, Batson got the wall. But Batson, with the aid of that caution, cycled to the lead, and Chris Dollerton beat Kyle Matthews off pit lane. So Kyle Matthews wants to go back to the point. Here comes Jose Mills in the 98. First time we've mentioned him at the front today. Same for Zach Rogers there in that Dodge. So we got some new faces, some new players up here, all looking for a shot of winning this All-Star race. Dylan Young there in the 2-car. And here comes Jose Mills. 4-time winner last season. Winner at Bristol this season. And trying to add an All-Star race to his resume as the caution is out. Second time today, the caution flag will wave. Nothing happened up at the front from what I saw, so it must have been mid-pack. Jose Mills will lead them around here and take the second caution of the day. Yep, something off turn 4 and onto the front straightaway. And not surprising, because with 20 to go, these drivers, they were definitely going to amp it up as far as the aggressiveness, and now we're seeing the results of it. Well, Cole Baker had damage early on, and he's got more damage now. Same for Mitchell Collins there in the 22. Looks like Michael Norman got a piece of this. Lot of damage on the rear and right side of his Sonic the Hedgehog Rogue Energy number 18. Looks like there might be some front-end damage on the rookie Alexander Rose Chevrolet. Not certain about anybody else back here. Is there right side damage on Ryan Brommer? Can't see from this angle. There might be. Nope, he's okay. Looks like about maybe 4 drivers were caught up in this one. 4 or 5 drivers. I didn't see anybody sitting on pit road. So caution is out for the second time here in the All-Star race as Jose Mills leads. Let's go back and see what happened off turn 4. Well, we're focused on Michael Norman, but I think the car that's going to start all this is the 22 of Mitchell Collins. Let's see. 3 wide off of turn 4. That's James Qualls, Carter Friesen, and Michael Norman. Oh, and Norman's going to get the wall again. That's about the 3rd or 4th time he's been in the wall. Oh, and then he comes down across the nose of Alexander Rowe and then hooks the 22 of Collins back up the racetrack. Now you see Cole Baker there. He's boxed in on that outside line. He's got Trey Wright on the inside, so he's got to stay committed to the top side. And there's just nowhere to go. Runs right into Michael Norman. If he hadn't hit Michael Norman, he would have hit Mitchell Collins. just a terrible situation for Cole Baker. No maneuver room to be able to get through. A lot of front-end damage on his machine. That might be taking him out of the race. Don't know exactly how hard of a hit. Mitchell Collins took into that outside wall as well. I think he went nose first. So we could have a couple more drivers joining Wyatt Quayle back in the garage area. Looks like only 4 cars got any kind of damage from that wreck. Collins, Baker, Norman, and Alexander Rowe. So we actually kind of got away with one there. That was closer to the rear of the field, so more drivers were able to get through that wreck. So, yeah, I think we did kind of get away with one, because usually, especially wreck like that happens up at the front of the field, a whole bunch of the field gets swept up in it. But that's our caution for the second time here tonight in the All-Star race. Let's go back for the green. Well, when the green flag flies, when we hit the start-finish line, there will be a total of 14 laps to go. Jose Mills, the race leader. Matt McIntyre, second. Dylan Young in third. Fourth is Keith Batson, and fifth right now is Chris Dalwerton. We talked earlier about a palaver of Toyotas at the front. All of a sudden, the blue oval is up here. 4 of the top 5 spots are currently held by Mustangs. Kyle Matthews is 6th. Zach Rogers 7th. Austin LaPlante, Jesse Turner, and Carson Gumm, your top 10 as we go back green. Only driver still out of the race is Wyatt Quayle. Not really sure what Norman and Collins and Baker are going to try and salvage, but they are still on the track and running as the green flag is back out. And with 14 laps to go and a couple of cars back there like Baker and Collins that I'm pretty certain are going to be off the pace, we could have slower lap traffic come into the play in the closing stages of this race if we don't see another caution first. Jose Mills out in front, battle for second between Keith Batson and Dylan Young. Chris Dalwerton right there as well. Dalwerton finished third in the Open. Wants to finish better than that here in the All-Star race. Got down there on the paint line. A couple of cars did as they shot back up the track in the middle line. Kyle Matthews into the wall. One of the strongest cars of the day. Going to fade outside of the top 15 now after that. Ooh, might have been some contact there between LaPlante and Dylan Young, forcing the 2 up the track, and he's going to get the wall off of 4. Someone's coming off pit lane. Oh, that's Baker in the 18. So the leaders will get around him safely as he decided to come to pit road and not be a moving chicane for these drivers. Matthews brushed the wall again off of turn 2, so all of a sudden his car not handling very well. As Jose Mills, 4-time winner last season, having to hold off the defending champion of the series, Chris Dalwerton. Ryan Brommer and Carson Gumm in a heated battle for 4th as Dalwerton moves to the bottom for the lead in turn 1. Got down there on the apron a little bit, but he kept his foot in the throttle, and he'll be alongside Jose Mills down the back straightaway. Here comes Matt McIntyre with a push. He's going to push the 43 to the race lead, and Ryan Brommer with a big run now up here into the mix for the top position. Don't count out Austin LaPlante. We haven't really mentioned him a whole lot here, aside from a couple times when he scraped the wall, but he's up in the top 5 now with a shot of winning this thing. Carson Gumm's right there. Keith Batson's been a factor all day long. And I wouldn't rest on my laurels, because back there you've got the defending winner of the All-Star race, William Brock, in 9th. He's got a shot of closing in on this group. Benny Watson, who finished runner-up in the Open, is back there in 10th place as well. We're about to have a battle between the armed forces in just a moment. A battle for 7th between the Navy and the Air Force. Jesse Turner's reeling in Keith Batson as Jose Mills. Ooh, man. The whole rear end came around on him there. He almost lost it in turn 1. But he'll keep alongside of Matt McIntyre. He'll get the momentum down the front straightaway. He'll go back to the lead. Carson Gumm almost contact there with Chris Dalwerton. They're going to be 3 wide with Brommer up top off of 4. But Brommer knew how to get off of turn 4 without hitting the wall. Nicely done. Caution's out. Caution is waving. 3rd time today. We will get back green. Ooh, settle that out, guys. Settle it out. Ooh, boy. Give room. Please. Oh, no. Ryan Brommer's going to get spun. Oh, can they all get around him, though? Nobody hit him. Please, nobody hit him. Okay, we're good. We're good. And I think they're going to get their spots back. They should, anyway. Pace car is going to pick up Jose Mills. We will get back green, but it will be with less than 10 to go. Oh, and it looks like Zach Rogers could very well have been the cause of this most recent yellow. Rear end damage on the 6. I was looking for smoke. Don't know where this happened. I'm thinking maybe off of turn 2. Tough break there, though, for Zach Rogers. He was closing up inside of the top 10 there. Oh, and we have another car on pit road. That's Alexander Rowe in the 24, so he might have also been a big reason for this caution coming out. The only rookie that was able to qualify his way into the All-Star race with his win at Pikes Peak earlier on this year. And doesn't look like he'll be finishing out this one. Now he's sitting on pit road like they're going to try and repair that car, but with as few laps left as there is, really the only position that counts in this race is first, and that does not look like a race-winning car. Jose Mills looks like a race-winning car right now. He leads the way again here, and he'll be getting us back under green in a moment. For now, we're going to go back and take a look at a replay of our third caution of the day. Yeah, this was going into turn 2 and off exit. Alexander Rowe running very high on the racetrack. You see how he just slides up there into the wall, overstepped the cushion there, overstepped the grip. It looks like right there when he came off the wall, it jutted him down into Zach Rogers. And Zach Rogers going to get spun around off the nose of Kyle Matthews down into the inside wall. You notice that Alexander Rowe did not have the front end damage that we saw him come to pit road with. Well, the reason that he got that damage, when we had that stack up go on, when Ryan Brommer got spun out under pacing, Ryan Brommer ran into the back of Matthew Rodriguez, so that's where he actually got that damage from. It was not due to this crash that took place here. Zach Rogers was running in the 17th position at the time. He was kind of towards the rear of the lead pack, but obviously not what he was looking to have happen here in the closing stages as he gets spun and brings out the third and hopefully final caution of the day here in our All-Star race. It will be a 4-lap shootout to decide this All-Star race win. Jose Mills, the leader. Matt McIntyre, second. LaPlante, third. Dollarton, fourth. Brommer, fifth. All 4 manufacturers up inside of the top 5 right now. Then it's Carson Gum, Keith Batson, Jesse Turner, William Brock, and Benny Watson. Let's go a little bit further back through the field, give you where everybody else is running. Dylan Young's 11th. Ryan Butcher, 12th. James Qualls, 13th. Trey Wright, 14th. 15th, Matthew Rodriguez. 16th is Carter Friesen. 17th. Jordan Lopez, Kyle Matthews, 18th, Michael Norman, 19th, Zach Rogers right now in 20th. 21st is Mitchell Collins, but he's off the pace. Alexander Rowe will be off the pace as well, 22nd. 23rd, 1 lap down, is Cole Baker, and the only car out of the race still at this point is Wyatt Quayle. 4 laps to go here at Charlotte. Can we finish this under green? Green flag back in the air. And Jose Mills got himself a good jump. Matt McIntyre might have spun the tires. He's now under fire from Austin LaPlante for second. And LaPlante's going to have some good momentum off turn 2. He may have thoughts for the race lead here, going down to 3 if he can get a good enough draft down the back straightaway. Yes, he will. Here he comes to the bottom. Mills trying to pinch him down there. Couldn't do it. LaPlante is to his left rear. Oh, but he had to check up a little bit there in the center of the corner. Mills hangs on to the top spot, at least for the moment. Ryan Brommer now moves to 3rd. Carson Gum now up here into 4th. And the defending winner of this race is now in 7th. William Brock in that 88. Meanwhile, Mills continues to hold the spot. LaPlante got a little tight there through 1 and 2. Could not hold the bottom. Ryan Brommer's going to move by him for 2nd. Oh, we might be 3 wide here coming through 3 and 4. Nope, we're still double wide. Chris Dollarton backed out of it as I thought he was going to go 3 wide with LaPlante and Carson Gum. Meanwhile, Jose Mills continuing to show the way. Right now, he would be a very happy man if a caution were to come out, because he's got about a half second back to this battle for 2nd place, and if they get lined up, they are going to reel him in pretty quick. Carson Gum's now going to move into 2nd place. Somebody here's got to break away from this group to be able to run down Jose Mills, because Jose is literally running away with this lead. If they can stay single file, they may have something for him on this final lap, but Jesse Turner now is going to go to the inside of Carson Gum for 2nd place. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go here for Jose Mills, who enjoys about a 0.6 of a second lead over everybody else. They're literally handing this all-star race to the Louisiana Hot Sauce Ford Mustang. Jose Mills, 4-time winner last season. winner this season at Bristol. Although he is 27th in the points to start off the second half of the regular season, he's going to take the checkered flag here today in the All-Star race at Charlotte. And look who finished second. Last year's winner, William Brock. But Jose Mills really was in the right place at the right time on the last two cautions. On the last two yellows, he was the race leader and got to determine when they went back green. And boy, he was ready for that green flag, that last restart. Pulled away, the battle was on for second. And Jose Mills had nothing but clean racetrack ahead of him and quite a nice cushion behind him. And Jose Mills, who is right now tied for the most winningest driver in the Duracell Cup Series, adds a non-points all-star race to his very impressive resume. So there you see it. He finished a full second ahead of everybody else. And that wasn't because he had a good car that was able to pull away from everybody. The way the draft works here, side by side slows you down, and they kept being side by side for second place. So all Jose Mills had to do was run qualifying laps, and he was going to gain time on everybody else. So Jose Mills with the win. William Brock brings it home second. Jesse Turner in third. Carson Gum will get fourth, and Dylan Young will finish in fifth, with Brommer, Batson, McIntyre, Friesen, and Dollerton your top 10. The only position in this all-star race that really matters, though, is first place, and that is where Jose Mills finishes, which means that he would be locked into next year's all-star race as well if he were not to get a win here during the second half of the regular season, or during the chase, or during the first half of next year's regular season. Thank you all so much, though, for tuning in to this race from Charlotte. This is, to me, got my hopes really high for the Coca-Cola 600, because there was great racing all the way through the field in this event, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen in our longest race of the season next week. Hope you guys enjoyed this all-star race. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and be part of the crew today. We have shown your full finish results. There are no points because it's a non-points event, but points will be on the line next week. We begin what I dub the chase towards the chase for the championship, the second half of the regular season, the 13 races that really are going to determine our 16 drivers that will be in the playoffs, and it all gets started right back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Coca-Cola 600. You're not going to want to miss it. Be sure to tune into that. But until then, you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best. Jose Mills is your all-star race winner in Season 2.